What's up, guys? Var Virtually here. Hey, my last video was a huge success, so I wanted to review the video that I ended up switching to, which I found to be a much better phone, and that is the OnePlus 9 Pro. This phone that we're currently talking about is quite a bit better than the Z Flip 3 that I had, and here's why. So this phone, OnePlus itself as a brand, has been phenomenal. I've liked pretty much all the phones I've had since the 6T to this current 9 Pro. I've actually never had a Pro model, but I've never liked a phone nearly as much as I like this phone, except for the 8T Plus, which I would arguably say that this phone is better than, but that phone was the best up until now. Because one, this phone itself has a lot of camera capability. The phone can shoot in 8K, just like the standard one. It has 4K up to 120 hertz, so 120, 60, 30, 1080p. The camera is great. The blur is great when you're, like right now I'm using that one function. And just overall, like, I realize that when I'm going to be doing like videos, I'm not going to be lugging around my big old 60D Canon DSLR. I'm probably gonna be shooting on this because it's just, why would I buy like a point and shoot camera when I could just have a quality of great pixelation and everything on the OnePlus? It just makes the most sense. This phone itself has a fingerprint reader on the screen, unlike the Z Flip did. The Z Flip was on the side, and I really couldn't get used to it. Like, I was so used to like fingerprints on the screen, minus the fact that I have an iPhone. This iPhone itself is an 11, no fingerprint still, which is kind of a bummer, and I really do like the fingerprint. And it also has facial recognition, just like all the other phones out there. Cool. Kind of old news. But this phone is kind of like a mix between Apple and Android. And the way I say that is because right here, as you can see, this little notch right here, this little indent groove, maybe you can see it better here. Right here is actually a way for you to go into regular sound on, vibrate, and silent, so you don't have to wear out your volume buttons. That's an amazing feature, because with that feature itself, you can basically like not wear the volume buttons out, and it's kind of like this little switch on the side of the Apple devices right there, where you'll have your sound on, sound off. And the other thing, just like with every Android, is you can actually still change all of your sound individually. So like your alarms, your notifications, your ringtone, you can change each one of those to be different like volumes. So you can have loud notifications, less loud ringtone, alarm all the way up. And so like when you're sleeping and everything, low everything, high alarms, so that you can just wake up and not be bothered by everything else. Which I find to be just an underrated feature, because like I know you can do that on most Android phones. I'm just saying that's a feature I'd love to see come to Apple, as well as the fingerprint reader, like everybody else has been wanting. Now, if you've also noticed, this phone has a lot of more cameras than the standard 9. And I'd say that it definitely utilizes them, but I personally don't. Just like my phone is just a standard 11, not a Pro or a Max or a 12 Pro Max or a 13 Pro Max. I don't know if I'm ever going to use the micro lens, because what am I really going to be filming with that? Maybe within a future video I'll test it out just to see how good the quality is, and like the follicles and everything on my like skin, the hairs, everything. But it looks more appealing. The more capabilities a phone has, the more clout you can use if you're into that. But other things about this phone is it comes standard 120 hertz. It's a great, phone thing that you can only see in like the newer 13 Pro and Pro Max. So standard stuff, if you're looking for a phone, this one comes 120 hertz. A 4500 milliamp battery, which also the 9 comes in, so I kind of would have liked to see this phone have more of a battery. but it's whatever, right? So this one looks like it has a microphone on it, which would be this one right here. This appears to be like where you'd see a mic, because it wasn't on the other one, and this one actually has a lot better sound quality for my videos, so I would assume that's what it is. Didn't look this one up, and I didn't also look up the fact that I think the light is brighter from when I'm actually like using the camera light, but it appears to be brighter than the previous phones that I've had. 128 gigabytes is pretty standard. I noticed on the Z Flip that my storage filled up immediately because of all the bloatware that Galaxy, like Samsungs, have. Samsung this, Samsung that. I don't need all the Samsung stuff, so it's just nice to have like a stock thing like Google Pixels have originally had. I never had a Google Pixel, but like I like the standard stock Android, because when it comes to things like the things I'm not going to use that you can't delete and stuff like that take up my space, I'm not going to use like half of them. I use calendars, so cool, like Samsung Calendar, Galaxy Camera, whatever it is, calculator, cool, but it doesn't have to tie in the name. And even though it does like more features, there were like other things that I never use. So like I know some of them can be deleted, but bloatware is just kind of not my thing. So it is what it is. This phone also, I would say, is better than the standard 9 because it came in the color that I wanted. So this one's like the gray. I'm not sure what the special name is, but I like this phone a lot better than the lavender that I had, just because, I mean, everyone puts a case over it, cool, but with this like little box, I'm still going to notice the thing. I didn't have a cover for it. I had a screen protector for my cameras, but I didn't have a cover for that, so it'd just be like a black case, a red case, my Dragon case over my purple phone, which, you know. This phone's camera and all of the specifications, I would say, run leagues around the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold. I will say the one qualm I have, so I'm just letting you know this, so like the reason I switched from the Z Fold, and I'm giving you the honest truth, not sponsored, I'm not monetized, so no fallback on anything. The one reason I switched mainly was the camera. It's cool that the camera on the back of that phone was better than the front. That's the case with all phones. And it's cool that you could use that. But whenever I closed the device and used the front like screen and everything, the video wouldn't come out the size that I wanted. And maybe that was something I could change. I didn't spend too much time looking into it because the phone just didn't sit right. The crease was barely noticeable, but barely noticeable is still noticeable, and I probably would have gotten used to it. But the battery is what killed me. And as someone commented before, it takes like 10 days for the battery to settle. Cool, I don't have 10 days, unfortunately. I'm not bashing the person. I'm very thankful that someone is more knowledgeable than me, and if they are, great. That's wonderful. But I don't have like 10 days to actually like get that thing and running. I need like a phone like now. I need to do stuff on my phone. I need to make videos. I need to do content. I can't have like a video like tanking my battery to 40% and taking like 2, 3, 4 hours to charge. I was wirelessly charging, so if it wasn't previously stated, I was wirelessly charging the phone because that's just the way that I do things, because I've heard it's better for battery sustaining and battery life and everything. But taking 4 hours is a long time. Plus, not coming with a brick is kind of something that things are going to, like phones are going to. This one came with the warp charge, the brick, and the cable. That phone didn't. I paid a lot of money for the phone, and the phone was like, I mean, like, I don't want to just pay for a cord, you know, like, someone else also stated that it has, like, supercharge or whatever, that it could charge within, like, 1 hour. Cool. The OnePlus can charge literally, like, basically fully charged within, like, 30 minutes or less. Like, I literally, this phone I got today, and once I got it, it was at, like, roughly around 27%. And then I ended up just playing around with it, and then I ended up having to go to work. And then within the time frame of, like, I think 20 minutes, I charged it, and it literally went from the 20 to 64%. So I was able to use it all day, and then from there I charged it once I got home. So an 8-hour day. That was perfect, and I used it sort of, kind of, like on my breaks and of course on my lunch. But it just the phone also feels sturdy. It's a little heavier. It's a good phone, and that's my 2 cents basically. So what I'm trying to say is, and I'm probably gonna title this, is this phone so far for me, because I've had a lot of phones since I'm on my carrier's program where I can jump between phones within every 30 days. This phone itself, I can definitely say, so far, and we're nearing the end of 2021, unless something magically appears, is my 2021 best phone. I highly recommend it. I'm very, very, very saddened and upset that the OnePlus 9 RT, or the T series, didn't make it to the US. I was really looking forward to it, and it just would have been like really great, and it wouldn't have been probably as pricey, and it had a lot of cool specs and features, but didn't make it, so I decided to go with the brand that I like the best, and just the next step up from what I had, because I didn't want to jump back from just downward. So might be a little bit biased because I've liked OnePlus for a while, but this phone right here is my 2021 best phone, because so far within the one day that I've had it, I've just liked it like so much. Like this phone, like for iPhone, if I had gotten the 13 Pro Max and it had like the fingerprint reader that I want, haptic feedback on the or on the keyboard, and just like a few other features, then that would have been my favorite phone probably. But we'll probably see that on the 14 sometime next year, probably, possibly, I'm hoping. But for right now, the OnePlus 9 Pro is my favorite phone, which beats out the 11, the 12, the 12 mini, the Z Flip 3, the 9, and yeah, pretty much all the other phones that I've had this year. So this phone